Settle down, brother. This is the Quarter Report. South Africa's a movie. Welcome to the watch party. And the cat has finally cracked on day 3 under Madlanga Commission scrutiny. Even his Mfro couldn't save him. And we finally have genuine real-life bombshells about Cap Matlala's relationship with former head of the Hawks in KZN, General Lesetja Senona, his son, who Kat mysteriously tried to buy an apartment for, but apparently Senona had no interest financially in Kat's affairs. We found out a true new revelation from Cap Matlala that allegedly Senona knew former alleged Big Five cartel top boss Msibi, Jotham Msibi. We are also finding out about what Cap Matlala thinks of his meeting with General Mkhwanazi. He has tried to dodge all kinds of things, but Madlanga and co are not having it, and we're going to tell you all you need to know. Now, welcome to the Quarter Report. James has given me exactly 60 seconds to tell you all of the business end of the Three Beanies Network TBN universe. James will cut me off after 60 seconds. James, on your mark.
3, 2, 1, go.
My brand new first ever and probably only ever book, The Miseducation of South Africa, is available now for pre-order ahead of its release on bookshelves across South Africa on the 1st of September. If you are in Johannesburg next Tuesday, the 1st of September, join me and the wonderful Matlala in conversation for my book launch in Houghton at Strauss & Co. You need to RSVP. The link is in the description. If you are in Cape Town on the 8th of September, join me at the Waterfront Exclusives in conversation with Rebecca Davis for the launch of the book. You need to RSVP. The link is in the description. Also, I have a very special comedy show with my dear friend and much beloved multi-award-winning comedian Yasin Barnes on the 4th of September in Cape Town at the Open Book Festival. Buy tickets now. The link is in the description. You can get merchandise at www.3beaniesnetwork.com. If you want to advertise, you can email us at contact@3beaniesnetwork.com. If you'd like to support us by giving us just 100 Rand a month because you like what we do for the country and for you here, click to join to become a member on YouTube, and please like and subscribe.
At 52 seconds.
52?
Yes.
Nice. I'm proud of myself.
Okay, now you've been so efficient. Now it's time to talk. Go.
Yes,
again.
It's time to talk.
Next segment. Go.
Madlanga started this morning with an hour delay, and then wonderful news, because one of my favorite people on the planet, advocate Adila Hassim, was leading the cross-examination of Cap Matlala. She, as I hope you remember, was one of our crucial members of our case that we won at the International Court of Justice to compel Israel to stop its genocide creating activities in Palestine, specifically in Gaza, all those years ago. Now, she also headed the Life Isidi Mani investigation. She's a really important and incredible advocate. And immediately she wanted to talk to Cap Matlala about Lesetja Senona. He is or was the head of the Hawks in KwaZulu-Natal. Do you remember how scandalous it was, how terrified and awful it was for us when we first learned that maybe key members of the Hawks, the premier crime-fighting investigators, well, they're supposed to be, allegedly, in South Africa, that members of the Hawks had seemingly obviously inappropriate relations with alleged criminals. And remember, it was like Senona, and that was like cute awful in hindsight, because then we found out about even more powerful members of the Hawks who allegedly were involved. So Senona resigned from his position as the head of the Hawks in KZN after the allegations about that 200 million rands worth of drugs going missing from offices in Port Shepstone came out. Senona has been cross-examined multiple times in different forums throughout the Mkhwanazi cinematic universe. The first half of today, was about that. So, Advocate Hassim asked Cap Matlala to talk about his relationship with Lesetja Senona. And surprise, surprise, he and his Mfro, Advocate Vanaheva, tried to deflect and avoid as best they could. Matlala said he didn't want to provide any details on his relationship for Senona because they're under investigation. He wouldn't say for what, and then eventually he said it was for corruption. He wouldn't even say when or how he met Lesetja Senona. Advocate Hassan pointed out to him that if he is shown to unjustifiably be dodging questions in the commission, there will be legal consequences. And that is also very exciting, considering the Stalingrad tactics that Cap Matlala and his legal counsel have tried to use. Then Commissioner Baloy pointed out that Cap Matlala had already spoken about his relationship with Senona at ad hoc. It was already public record. And so the commissioner wanted to know why repeating that at Madlanga would endanger Kat to criminality. And surprisingly, his answer was rubbish. And so Kat Matlala, he said that he met Lesetja Senona at a wedding. And just like yesterday with Steve Mutsumi, I have to ask my friends, why aren't you giving me pedigree to meet at your weddings. Why am I going to weddings and just finding out about the latest breakup and sub story about some friend of the groom or the bride? I want there to be financial opportunities for me and my business at weddings. They met at a wedding. Here's the first genuinely enormous bombshell. Hot off the press, breaking news in the whole MCU, Mkhwanazi Cinematic Universe from today. Matlala said that former alleged Big Five drug cartel top boss and taxi kingpin, King Mswazi Jotham Msibi, knew Lesetja Senona, that they came from the same township. In fact, Matlala's relationship with Senona blossomed, according to Matlala, after they sat at the same table and shared food at Msibi's mother's funeral. So just to be clear, the KZN head of the Hawks was on such good terms, allegedly, with the now past alleged biggest drug and taxi boss in the country, who oversaw this alleged drug cartel, was on such good terms with him that he was invited to the man's mother's funeral. That is insane. To only find that out now, given Matlala has spoken on Senona and Senona has been cross-examined by a variety of people up until this point, given that Msibi is a key linchpin, a potential kingpin in this whole scandal. This is massive first-time news. And then Matlala said that since the funeral, his relationship with Senona blossomed. They blossomed, and that Senona was like an older brother to him. So not friends, not business friends, not friends with benefits, older brother. That's really important for what the rest I need to tell you from today's testimony. So then, Kat said that he and Senona were chums. Senona was like an older brother, but Senona had no financial interest in any of Matlala's affairs. That's really important to remember. But of course, as Matlala knows, we, the public, the ad hoc committee, and the Madlanga Commission have their WhatsApp messages. And so he needed to explain why he was discussing his issues with his SAPS contracts and late payments with Senona, head of the Hawks in KZN, and why he was discussing police raids on his home with Senona from KZN. Now, Kat says it's just because they were chums. It's not because he was a high-ranking police officer in the Hawks who could do anything about it. They were just chums. But then, fascinatingly, we find out that Lesetja Senona lent Matlala 20,000 rand, which respectfully is like $2 Zimbabwean to Matlala, given the amount of money that he rolls in. That Senona lent him 20,000 rand after the police raid on Matlala's home over the investigation of the kidnapping of the still disappeared business person Jerry Bashocha, who I'll remind you, Matlala described it ad hoc in his appearance from prison in Burberry and Chains as a dear friend of his who he helped give money, who he knew was manufacturing drugs and it wasn't his business and he didn't know if the money that he gave him was for that, but cool. So, why on earth would the KZN head of the Hawks lend anybody, but particularly Matlala, an irrelevant amount of money to Matlala, 20K, straight up? Like, what would Kat spend that on? He was rolling in dosh to the point where yesterday he made it very clear that he couldn't remember multi-million rand payments for things because he has so much money, and he said it felt wrong to show off. What would 20K for him is like maybe new toilet paper in the guest bathroom. Maybe.
I remember an ad hoc when he said, I think he went to the Kaizer Chiefs game in Durban, and he said he rolled down there in like a convoy of 12 with all his security. And then I think I'm double check this, but I'm fairly certain he claimed it was like an advertising exercise. It's like, oh, we get to show like all the cars. Can you imagine how much petrol? That's 20K right there just to go down there. He doesn't need 20K in this capacity.
Is it even a new set of tires for those cars?
No.
One
set of tires is like 8 to 10.
Okay. So Senona
maybe like normal tires, not even
maybe gave him 1.5 sets of tires.
Maybe.
Why would he do this after this raid on his home? It is bizarre. Okay. So then Matlala detailed, and we know that Senona promised to help find out what was going on with the police raids on Matlala's home. And then fascinatingly, former police minister Becky Cele eventually explained to Matlala what was going on. Why? And also, why did Senona send Matlala Becky Cele's number? And why did Matlala already have Becky Cele's number? Well, we know why. Because Becky Cele was staying gratis, that means free. Don't know why I went Latin there, but staying free in Matlala's penthouse suite in Pretoria, as well as a raft of other alleged payments. We remember the Becky Cele and his hat of it all. Okay, so We then find out that Senona and Msibi, Jotham and Msibi, were from the same township, as Kat Matlala details more and more what he said that he would not speak about. See, Madlanga does get you to crack eventually, no matter who you are and how hard you try, and how much your advocate channels massive mevrouw energy. I don't know about you, James, but my experience of Afrikaans Eerste Dis en Hele Taal in school is either they're the loveliest, they're all women, white women, and they're either the loveliest people on the planet or the most awful teachers on the planet, and it's left or right. And I can say with sincerity that all but one of my Afrikaans high school teachers, actually no, all my Afrikaans high school teachers, all but one of my Afrikaans junior school teachers were total delights.
Van den Heever is giving, I do not care if you are pink, brown, purple, or yellow. You will not act this way in my class. You will not. That is what it feels like. And she's saying it to Madlanga. She's saying it to Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga.
She's also repeatedly saying, don't be so aggressive! Don't be so aggressive! Why are you being so aggressive? That's like she needs conduct classes for her own emotions. Anyway, let's continue. Okay. Then the commission wanted to know what project described by that word Matlala and Senona had that they were discussing in a variety of different correspondences that the Madlanga Commission has. Their project. Kat Matlala, true to form, said he won't say what it is, but confirms it was not the SAPS healthcare tender. Again, it's giving, who was it yesterday who stopped being friends in 2023? Omar Mela and Kat, I think, just before, Timbisa Hospital. It's giving that. So he said, I'm not going to tell you what the project was about. I don't have to. I don't want to. It incriminate me, whatever. But it was not the SAPS healthcare tender to the value of hundreds of millions of rands. He also wouldn't discuss the contents and details of a meeting that he had with Lesetja Senona that the commission knows about. And then Matlala said that he stopped having meetings with his, again, older brother, Lesetja Senona, after Matlala was arrested for allegedly trying to have his ex-girlfriend, Tebogo Tobejane, assassinated, which lines up perfectly, by the way, with Senona's testimony at Madlanga, where he also said, I stopped hanging out with Kat after Kat was arrested. But remember, that wasn't the first time that there were news and media stories about Kat's alleged shadiness and shenanigans, and Lesetja Senona, as we now know, would have known everything about what was going on with Kat and SAPS. So he won't discuss, then separate to the project, Kat went on to say he won't discuss a contract he said he had with Senona that Madlanga knows about, some mysterious contract, which is also, he claims, under investigation, criminal investigation, doesn't want to self-incriminate, as we know. Now it gets really weird. You may remember this story. Lesetja Senona has a son called Tato, and there were allegations that Kat Matlala was arranging to buy Tato Senona an apartment for like 2 to 3 mil. No explanation for why that would be the case. None. That attempt to buy that apartment failed because Kat was arrested as like they were getting the papers in order to buy that apartment. So Lesetja Senona insisted in his own testimony that he had no financial interests with Kat Matlala, but he was aware that his son had, quote, a flowering business relationship with Kat Matlala. So why would Matlala buy Lesetja Senona's son Tato a flat? Because that's not even a business interest. Remember, Kat Matlala does business like this. Hangwani Mamela, you've got all the money. I've got all the rest of the money. Let's put it together and win contracts and then divvy up the profits. This is just, I'm buying some guy's son a house. An apartment.
It's giving Tato my chance, Tato my millions.
That was really good, James.
Thank you.
That was really, really good. The commission obviously wanted to know why would Kat Matlala buy Tato Senona a flat, and there was no good explanation for that. Then, as we know, Lesetja Senona sent Kat Matlala that PKTT, Police Killings Task Team Disbandment letter, and Kat said, "Oh, that was just because Senona knew I was interested in the PKTT. It's like we had a shared hobby." Had a shared interest in this high-level confidential policing document from the police minister at the time, just a passing interest. He wasn't helping me in any way. Oh, but also, Kat said that Senona encouraged him to sue the police, to take legal action against SAPS. SAPS that Senona is in the hawks with. SAPS, the one that's on Senona's paychecks, over the police raids.
This really does feel as unbelievable as Andrea Johnson not talking to her husband about her work,
yes,
and vice versa, given that they both work in the justice system.
Totally. So that's all looking very bad for Kat Matlala, who eventually cracked. And then you could see how badly he was cracking by how much Mthro was panicking. She started hoying with Madlanga about whether or not Kat should be made to answer any questions at all, whether or not he had fair trial rights, whether or not he had self-discrimination rights. She went at it back and forth with Advocate Hassim, all this different, because you could see visibly that she was freaking out. And they came back after lunch and she was trying to stop the next big ticket item of today, which was, you know it, General Mkhwanazi's meeting with Kat Matlala. It's kind of refreshing to talk about Nhlanhla rather than Julius. I'm so sick of Julius. We're back on the real star of the Mkhwanazi cinematic universe, the man who made the press conference and all that, General Mkhwanazi. Now, you'll remember that Mkhwanazi had a meeting that various people have spoken on, allegedly put together by Bekele himself with Kat Matlala. And there have been a lot of different people, including Mkhwanazi and Matlala, and others making claims over what went down in this meeting. Senona was also in and around that meeting. So, you will know that everyone spoke about the fact that Mkhwanazi was trying to get information from Matlala. Matlala claims that Mkhwanazi offered to slow down investigations and potential prosecutions against Kat Matlala in exchange for information, particularly on one or after things, but particularly on Shadrach Sibiya. Now, you'll remember that he was and is still on suspension, I think. It's hard to keep track. A deputy National Police Commissioner of Crime Detection. He was the one who took away the police dockets, the live investigations, over 120 from the PKTT. He was the one who sat on them and maybe meddled in them and maybe looked at them and passed information on those live investigations to Kat Matlala and Shadrach Sibiya was also the one who allegedly Kat Matlala arranged for payments to via an alleged credit card that he allegedly gave to Ice Boy of SAPS, Fani Nkosi, who allegedly then used it. And remember also, Kat Matlala allegedly bought, was it 21 Impala? Yes, the buck, for Shadrach Sibiya, who claims that he rejected them and all the Impala died, which is genuinely really sad, and I feel like we've glossed over that. Senonas sent Kat Matlala Bekele's number. Kat Matlala said, I already have this. And then...
Don't worry, I'm way ahead of you on the corruption.
Oh, bro, we're Instagram close friends. Don't you worry your little head about it.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. So at this meeting, Kat Matlala said that he and General Mkhwanazi discussed his relationship with Shadrach Sibiya. And specifically, Kat Matlala said he was aware of a lot of other people, but not him, paying off Shadrach Sibiya. And Mkhwanazi wanted to know more about that. Other people, but not him. And he was at pains to make this point. And then Advocate Fanania for Mthro went loud that no more needed to be spoken of about this, and it shouldn't be, and it was incriminating and all this. And Kat Matlala made the big mistake of continuing to talk. And he said that General Mkhwanazi allegedly at this meeting asked him, Kat Matlala, about Steve Mutsumi, but wouldn't say anything further. And then there was a procedural meltdown as the Mthro tried to stop any further discussion about this meeting because she could see where the danger is, and the danger was in Madlanga, specifically for our poor, now thoroughly cracked into pieces, Kat Matlala. So the Madlanga Commission very reasonably then asked Kat Matlala, why don't you want to talk about this? If you're insistent that you didn't make any payments to Shadrach Sibiya, and all you know is that other people were making payments to Shadrach Sibiya, but you can't really tell us how you found that out, and it was through middlemen and informants and whatever. But other people making payments to Shadrach Sibiya is not incriminating on you, Kat Matlala, so why won't you speak about this? And he got himself in a knot, and so did the advocate. And then eventually, Kat Matlala, just a few minutes ago now as we record, said that Sergeant Fani Nkosi was, quote, the middleman through which payments were made to Shadrach Sibiya, but not by him. And then we get this absolutely incredible quote. Karen Morn wrote it up. I need to ask you then, because it's the same reason that applies to the question on Mr. Mutsumi. Why would you tell this commission who the other people are that pay Mr. Sibiya who would incriminate you? Why would that incriminate you? To which Kat Matlala said, maybe when I'm saying incriminating, I'm using the wrong word. Oh, no. Mr. Matlala. Mr. Dear Pussy Kat Matlala. When you say you have a right to self-incrimination, you can only mean you're incriminating yourself. You can't be using the wrong word. It is incriminating or it's not. But he goes on, he says, maybe when I'm saying incriminating, I'm using the wrong word. I'm basing this on, again, my cases in court. So maybe incriminating is not the right word that I'm using because I'm repeating again that I still have a case to present in court. I'm already saying a lot here, then meaning that at least leave me with half. I can go to court with half, so don't take everything. Because now you want me to disclose everything here and then I'll be left with nothing. Don't strip me naked, please. Mr. Dear Pussy Kat Matlala, If that is your defense for court, your defense won't be weakened by you saying this defense now. Also, this commission is of the highest severity investigating the truth. You can't ask them to leave you with a little something on the side. That is insane. And it again shows the legal bankruptcy of Kat Matlala and his legal counsel, because now he's basically begging them to go easily on him for not even good reasons for his court case. It is absolutely absurd, and that is where we now sit. So for me, what does all this now mean? It means General Mkhwanazi needs to come back to Madlanga soon, because now crucial, pivotal moments are being spoken on, and Kat Matlala is speaking, particularly on that pivotal meeting, and we have been waiting to hear about whether or not Mkhwanazi did offer him those outs and whether or not he was acting in a corrupt fashion, which I don't think he was. Maybe he was spinning a lie to Kat Matlala to get him to admit stuff that he was never going to deliver on. But maybe he never made those offers at all. Maybe he never made those offers to Kat Matlala at all. And he needs to come and speak on that and clarify that. It's time for General Mkhwanazi to come back and speak, because so much has been said on him in his name and he's been away for a while. The other person who needs to come back is Lesetja Senona, who is in big trouble right now. He needs to talk about why he resigned over this 200 million rand drugs going missing from a Port Shepstone office. But he also needs to talk about all of this, because Kat Matlala has now said that he, the head of the Hawks in KZN, the place through which, the area through which nearly all the political killings happen, and where the drugs for the drug cartel were allegedly coming through Durban Harbour, and what's the other harbour north of that? Richards Bay. Like, that is the hotspot of drug entry into this country, as far as we understand, allegedly. Senona needs to speak on all of this, and he needs to now speak on whether or not he had a relationship and to what extent. And it's Kat Matlala telling the truth about his closeness with the kingpin who is now passed, Jotham Msibi. That has to happen. This is huge, genuinely. And I know Madlanga sometimes feels like we're just doom looping around, like we're spiraling around a drain pipe and the water's going nowhere but down, but slowly, and nothing's really happening. This is pivotal right now.
I completely agree. And another thing I just want to bring up, we've spoken a lot about Shadrach. I mean, Shadrach had a quiet few months at Madlanga, but now he's coming back along with Senzo Mkhunu.
Yeah.
Obviously, Senzo Mkhunu, as the former or suspended Minister of Police,
it is his time too.
It is his time to come back, obviously. But the thing that I keep forgetting, and I keep having to remind myself, is that Shadrach Sibiya was the second highest cop in the land, potentially
second equal.
Two.
There's more than one deputy national commissioner,
fair,
but yes, second equal.
Yeah. He was one below the top.
On the organogram, he was second.
Please don't say the word
others.
organogram. You're going to trigger me as well.
Okay.
I can't. I'm still thinking about that. But yeah, he was, and allegedly, apparently could be in line to the throne to replace Masimola.
Especially if he was yapping with Senzo Mkhunu directly and Masimola was in their way. Remember?
This is like the idea that this guy has been receiving payments from people that we don't know about, and Impalas and all this stuff. I mean, it really
you
is.
are sad about the Impalas.
No, I'm sad about the idea that someone that has gone through such, and all this stuff is alleged, but it is now clearly coming out that most of what Mkhwanazi has said up until this point has been
validated,
corroborated,
by public evidence.
Yeah.
And that's why, by the way, Kat is cracking, because there are WhatsApps on his screen, because there are audio recordings.
And they don't even need to come from his phone. They're coming from everyone else's phone of his texts, literally. Like, it's insane. and I, like, this is all happening in public with Madlanga, but like, if/when he turns state witness.
Who? Kat.
Which
he nearly has done already.
Yeah. And like, can you imagine what he's going to say behind closed doors about all these people?
I still think, and this is just a sad reality, I think he's going to be taken out before. I just think so. Think
Maybe,
about the level of power of people around. Think about the fact that Lesetja Senona, when he last testified, was terrified to speak Steve Mutsumi's name.
Yeah.
The head of the Hawks and KZN was terrified of uttering the name of securities businessman. So far, that's what we know, Steve Mutsumi. These people are so powerful and so dangerous. And if Kat can bring them all down, where is Hangwani Mamela? Where is he?
Nobody knows.
But
Search
for a Pagani dealership. I know they don't exist. They're too few. Don't be triggered.
But Matlala is scared to say these people's names.
Yeah.
Today, he wouldn't say who the other people were who were sending Shadrach Sibiya money, allegedly.
Yeah.
But so this is all cool and well, but like, I also think just tracking back a day or two now, talking about Sibanyoni and those taxi bosses who have now been subpoenaed for Madlanga commission, I think, in the next week or two.
Joe Ferrari.
Joe
Sibiya,
Ferrari, yeah.
Hangwani, Pagani.
Pagani has not been.
That's a fun rhyme.
Yeah, that is true. Those guys are going to be bombers if they talk. Unless they pull all the stuff that Matlala has done today.
Well, do you remember some of them were twirling for the camera when they thought they got off? In Northwest.
It's way worse than that. All the videos,
party, didn't they?
all the other videos are coming up now of them like Instagram influencers around them with bottle service and stuff. It's all coming up on Twitter now.
Okay, so wonderfully, we have a brand new TBN quiz submission from a man who sent it to us on the WhatsApp line yesterday, 0607613436. We want as many of your wonderful moments of musical creativity as possible for the TBN quiz jingle. Hey guys, here's my submission for the TBN quiz jingle from Velapi Rampele, aka V the Vowel, who says he's been making music for 20 years, and I have to say, it's an absolute banger.
It's time for TBN quiz. It's time for TBN quiz. Let's hear a question about where we live. Yeah. It's time for TBN quiz. Shop, shop, let's go. TBN quiz. TBN quiz. Shop, shop, let's go. TBN quiz. TBN quiz.
Oh, the shop, the little drop in the shop was so clean.
I know we've asked, and he did say it's not AI. I really, really sincerely hope it's not AI because I love that. Biblically, I love that.
So good.
Really good.
Okay, ask me the question. And then, by the way, we've got lots of funny, hilarious, and somewhat devastating messages from the WhatsApp line and YouTube comments on yesterday's show. Actually, can I just say, just quickly, including a very cute one. Can I say the very cute one?
Yeah.
It's genuinely very nice.
Okay.
Well, okay. At Salvan-E70, love James, but happy that you're back, Daniel. Very happy because I've noticed that one brother, in the absence of the other, there's a sadness. Together you are the best, and I not hate seeing your chest, Dan. Enough.
I can
actually
neither
do think that. When you aren't around, there is a sadness.
I can neither confirm nor deny. I can neither confirm nor deny, and as part of an active investigation, and I do not want to incriminate myself.
Say back to me that
I tell you I love you all the time, but not on camera. I'm not willing to do that on camera.
I want you to tell me that when I'm not around, there's a sadness.
Why? Because I just do that.
Because I just said it to you, and I sincerely believe
so.
That
Love
it's
has
true.
to be reciprocal.
Okay, fine. Either confirm or deny.
I missed you when you were overseas. That's as far as I'll go.
But there's no sadness.
But I don't reduce all my emotions to happy and sad.
You are.
There's melancholy, there's nostalgia, there's joy, there's satisfaction.
Okay.
There's so many different layers. I contain multitudes.
Ask me the question.
So Daniel.
Yes.
There are two music genres that have dominated post-94 South Africa.
Yes.
That not total two, but there are two that have dominated, in which the taxi industry has played a pivotal role
in their distribution,
in their rise.
Okay.
Can you name both?
Yes.
And tell me why the taxis were important.
Yes. Kwaito and
And why were they? What role did they play?
Kwaito was about distribution. So in the late 90s, the best way to go viral and become a massive hit in South Africa was to get your CDs that you would hand out for free to taxi operators to be played in the taxis. And James always reminds me of the famous story of Trevor Noah actually giving out CD tapes of his jokes to play on taxis. And then because of the speakers. So like taxis often have incredible sound systems, and it's one of the ways that they try to outcompete other taxis or just enjoy their day is just destroying the hearing of anybody in the taxis. And obviously is huge sound, huge bass. You need phenomenal speakers to play it. But if you play it well, you can distribute it to the masses. You can have parties out of the back of it. I know that everything I just said is true, but I might be wrong about the genres.
So the genres are correct. Everything you've said now is true, but there is another answer that binds the two together that is shared, which I can say at the end of the show. If you know that answer, put it in the comment section or 0607613436.
Nice. Okay. Also, for fun, name the brand ad that James is pronouncing of the word 6. Just was a callback to?
Wow, that is a deep cut. I didn't even really think of that.
But you know the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Give us the number and the brand.
This would be an all golden opportunity.
Why did you have to say that?
We can cut it.
We can cut it. Too late. James, no, we're keeping it in. James doesn't have the discipline. It's fine. Okay, if you still don't get... Okay, just give us the number. Just give us the number from the all golden opportunity. Okay. So Simone on the WhatsApp line says, "Hi Dan, will you make an audio version of your book available? I would love to buy it and support the show." Simone, I think we need as a country to bring back reading, which is a creative way of me saying I'm lazy to read a 200-page book into a microphone. But I'll talk to the publisher. If enough of you genuinely want an audiobook, I will record an audiobook of this book. Do you price audiobooks the same as the print? Because then
I
you
don't
can
know.
make...
Some people put it just on Spotify.
Oh, and you don't charge?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, but then...
Depending on...
But won't the publisher then just say that I'm losing them money?
Only you can answer this question. I have no idea.
I'll talk to the publisher and I'll get back to you. Okay, then we got a message from Joe, first-time recorder on the WhatsApp line, out of nowhere. "Hi guys, you need an indoor plant for the left side of the screen, Dan's right side. I would love to donate you almost any of my indoor plants. I'm in Midrand, so I can deliver it to you. Let me know if you think you can handle a plant." Seriously, as in like keep it alive, sit in its presence. What about that? Seriously, though, for my message, can you please make a list of all the ridiculous excuses and reasons the commission witnesses and lawyers and everyone else used to get out of the answering questions for a day? I mean, on a scale of dog ate my homework to the aliens took my work, I reckon we've just about hit it all. Thank you for being a nice news source. And yes, first-time messenger, let me know if you want a tree. Joe, we don't want a tree, but thank you for the offer.
Sorry, no, let's just be clear about this. Before we got the plant photo, I wanted a plant.
It's a beautiful plant picture.
That I'm neither here nor there on that.
Anna Philippa Dominguez from Cape Town. Check her out. Her work. It's Check My Plants on Instagram. You can buy the prints. They're beautiful.
I'm neither here nor there on that. My point is I wanted a live plant in the studio and you said, no, it looks like an office.
No, I didn't say that.
What did you say?
I said that all internet shows have plants and I find it derivative and we could do something more interesting.
Okay. Like accent lighting.
I'm not talking to you about that on air.
Let me just quickly, we can go through and do a full list, but let me just quickly put it into two buckets, basically. Well, the one bucket is illness.
And the other is self-incrimination.
The other is self-incrimination. That is literally what they have all said. I can't think of another one that doesn't fall into those two camps.
I want, and I'm not.
Oh, sorry. I lie. There's a third one, which is you only sent this to us last night. We haven't had time to read it. Those are the three camps.
Oh, fourth camp, Parliament didn't set up my laptop.
No. That is. I'm not including Fadil Adams because, he admitted last night at an NCC function that he went there to put the colored agenda into the national conversation.
And there have been dozens of videos from colored South Africans saying that Fadil Adams does not represent the best of them and they don't want colored people to be defined by that man. It's all over the internet.
Crazy.
Okay. At It's Flora Monet said something that I think will make us quite happy. This is my Gen Z news corner.
Well, one of us is Gen Z.
You aren't. Sorry.
What? Yes, I am. 98.
You're a latter millennial.
That's not true.
You are.
That's not true. That's literally not true.
There are many definitions.
So yours is the one that's right then.
My definition of your era is broadly age, but within that, there's a gray area for soul. And you've got the soul of a boomer.
No, that's not true. The defining line for millennial to Gen Z is, can you remember a time without a cell phone? And I can't.
I can.
Yes, you can. I can't. You're a millennial. I'm Gen Z.
What if you have poor memory?
That's irrelevant.
Okay. At Funa Biela 1004, welcome back, Dan. Missed the brotherly banter so much. James, you did the most while Dan was getting the chest hair transplant. This is how, in 2 months' time, an AI gen will say that I got a chest transplant in Turkey. Claude will tell someone, and then I'll be at an event, and they will introduce me as a chest transplant, hair, men's rights, gender affirming care advocate, and it will be awful. Don't do that.
Don't close off our sponsorship opportunities. No. Turkey is available.
Turkey is available, but my chest is good, friends. I'm well.
You still haven't proven it.
I did. Some people said yesterday that they enjoyed the little plump tuft that they saw. I'm not taking off my shirt for you. It's getting weird. Okay. At A. Matthew, as Kat is in the prison, he cannot fake illness, so his advocate claimed Madlangitis. Twak Olive If you ever have a swak olive, I'm really sorry. Olives are the best. 2515 says, your brother, that's James, will start his own project soon. He already has. It's called Skadonk. Go watch Skadonk. Skadonk. It's South African cars, history and modernity. It's really, really good. And James owes you a new episode because he's done writing his book now. And that was his excuse for the last 9 months.
I promise it's coming back soon. I'm formulating ideas. I am reaching out to certain interested parties or parties that I'm interested in, and it will come back soon. I promise.
That sounds like a diplomatic way of saying you're dating again.
I've been reaching out to parties I'm interested in.
Right. Let's end with a voice note from Zamo to the WhatsApp line. We love a voice note on the WhatsApp line. That's why we encourage you to use 0607 613 whenever you can to become a literal recorder. Zamo sent us a voice note. He has really resonated with the rager that James had yesterday. If you missed the show, James is now a full-on repentant birder.
Allegedly, there's no evidence of that. There's no evidence of what you just said.
And bought an undisclosed value lens for his camera to go and take photos of birds. And then
once again, that is completely alleged. And
it was on the show yesterday. Go listen to it.
No.
And
you are making allegations now which have not been founded by evidence.
You confirmed it in testimony on yesterday's show.
What? No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
When did I do that?
On yesterday's show.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
You can't just say that it exists, Miss Vandenheerde.
Again, not her name.
Vandenheerfer.
So, James was blocked from taking photographs of birds in not one but two different green parts of Johannesburg by security.
You mean Oudtshoorn?
Yes. The Wilds and Emmerensha in Oudtshoorn. But it would be amazing if they were those two places in Oudtshoorn. Anyway, by two security guards who said that he needed to have a permit because he had a big camera, even though it was just to take photos of birds. And
unprofessionally, to be clear, I get no financial. Sorry, the
hypothetical
person, the hypothetical person would not get any financial gain from it or anything like that. It's purely for one's own personal use.
Yes. One love. Okay. Zamo says
that closing round on photography as a Joburg photographer is so felt like it's my full-time job, and I was doing grad gigs for the past few months, and the whole permit thing is insane because you can call the location in advance, tell them you're going to be doing photography, and on that day they kick you out because you don't have a permit. Like, I hate the whole photography permit thing. It's so ridiculous. It's so useless. So, yeah, I really felt seen today at the end of the show.
Zama, I'm glad you felt seen. If you would like us to put up your WhatsApp profile picture on the screen so you can really feel seen, let us know on the WhatsApp line and we'll do it on tomorrow's show. James, though, Zamo has found the email address for you and the point person. If you would genuinely like a year-long permit to take photos of people in parks in Johannesburg, Oudtshoorn.
Zamo, I need to roll back my enthusiasm for my rant yesterday because I currently am under review for a permit in these areas. So, also, are you in the Okavango Delta? What are those crickets behind you and everything? It sounded like you were in the bush when you were sending that voice note.
Or maybe he's been forced to take his grads to the bush to take photos of them because he needs a permit to do it in Joburg.
But just to be clear and to be a bit more reasonable than I was yesterday on the podcast.
The rollback.
Shut up.
Here we go.
Just let me speak. Just to be a bit more reasonable, I do understand why there is a permitting system, because if it was a free for all, then film studios and weddings would just waltz in there anytime they wanted and take photos, and there needs to be some regulation on that. That should not apply to normal people just walking around with a camera.
Also, pro photographers who do like freelance commission, right, for grads or baby photos or whatever, that's not disruptive. It's just not. And frankly, any excuse to get more people going to Joburg's green spaces, I support. Right.
I'll pay. I'm fine to pay if that's what's required.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Security guards in green spaces across Joburg are like, yes, the bribe method. I will ask James for KFC if
they come up to me with a Yoko machine, I'll tap. It's fine. But I just don't want to be subject to painful...
Just carry a cool drink.
Painful admin to get in the way of...
Or do what I would have done, which is like, but brother, have you seen a ring-nosed parakeet? Come with me. Get him involved. Get him on board. Get him snapping photos.
Are you saying you?
Himself.
That's not me. I'm talking about this hypothetical person.
This bit is no longer funny. Please tell the other reason why the taxi industry spread Kwaito and Kuma.
Yeah. So there are multiple reasons. Like, as with anything, it's never as clear as one. But one major reason was that both with and with Kwaito, there was the stigma around them, as it's seen as like black township music, and it was looked down on from like official
Establishment musician.
musical
industry.
Yeah, like radio.
Radio play. Yeah.
Yeah, like radio play
see.
and music record labels and that kind of stuff. So the way to do it is you make it on a computer, you burn it onto a disk, you hand it to a taxi driver, and then purely by word of mouth, it gets handed around and say, oh, so-and-so did that. And then you also sell the CDs at the ranks.
But it gets so popular that the stations have to play it, and then it becomes establishment,
undeniable.
mainstream. Yeah, undeniable.
So
Exactly.
but that's the thing that both Kwaito and Glom
Did.
share, because
Okay.
they both faced that scrutiny
Right.
and exclusion, and they both
Right.
used alt methods to become
Right.
validated, essentially.
Because
the moment you can prove that you have an audience, then obviously
Yeah.
people want to sell to that audience.
So I wonder about Amapiano and South African House, because they both, in some ways, okay, maybe less South African House. It's such a broad category, but we are world class at that. But piano evolved out of hum explicitly. Like that was the sequence, the chronological sequence. So I wonder if Amapiano did not have to do that because it had more establishment people.
Yeah, it was already, the groundwork was already laid. And also, if
It was
you have-
already accepted that that sound could be a commercially viable sound. They didn't need to convince music gatekeepers to play it.
And if there are a fair number of artists that moved from Glom to Amapiano, so they
Right.
were already validated, so they could really go, hey, we're going in a new direction.
Totally.
As opposed to a fresh artist coming in and saying, hey, this is a new sound.
Super interesting, man.
Super interesting.
Thank you
It's
so
in
much.
my book that's coming out early next year.
Thanks for watching. Chat tomorrow.